Hello everyone. In this video I want to actually walk through another episode using Noteey, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this mind map that I did in Obsidian, and I'm going to put this on a whiteboard and kind of change the visual aspect of this. I could use Canvas for this particular deal in Obsidian, but Noteey provides some features that Canvas just does not, and I really want to experiment with this and see where it takes me. And I'm going to show you kind of where I'm at now in the process and maybe put some thoughts on where I can go with this here. Now let's move on and show Noteey. First thing I did was I just took a screenshot of the mind map that I did in Obsidian. One thing to note is that you can do mind maps in Noteey, and you can easily come in here, grab this, and then start creating your mind map. But because I already had the mind map, I didn't want to have to recreate that part because it was not the actual visual that I wanted, because again I've already had it and I wanted to see how I can freshen the visual up, kind of change things up so it gives me a different perspective on it. Also, the mind maps in Noteey right now only allows you to go from left to right, and to me I rather have the ability to be able to change up the mind map to where it looks similar to what I have here in Obsidian if I was going to recreate it over in here. Now the mind maps are pretty powerful over here. You can do some really good things with them, but there's just some things that have not been added to the mind map features here yet. So I didn't want to have just recreate something I already had and not be able to customize it the way that I wanted it to be. So I'm not going to use this here. We're going to go ahead and delete this mind map, and let's focus on this here. Basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a timeline, which is basically what the mind map is doing, creating a timeline of travel that either me or my wife or both of us took throughout the years. And I've started tracking this in 2019, and we can see that goes all the way to 2025, the current year. So I kind of iterated a couple different ways on how I could do this, and here's where I've landed right now. If I zoom out a bit here, we can see that I created some frames here, and I've just labeled them for each year. And my thought process here is that I'm going to put the same names that I have in here. I don't have the months yet, and what I'm probably going to do with the months is just add these into the cards. But I put the locations that I've traveled throughout the years, and we can see how that basically tracks to what the mind map is showing here. Now what I've done also here is these are just shapes. So I went here and got a square, created a square shape, and then I just put the location name in there. And what I've done to that is, in addition, is I've also used the icons in here. So if you switch over to icons, and if we do pin, what you can do is you can easily kind of pull these icons out, and you can leverage these icons on the actual board. And these icons are customizable. You can come in here and you can change the colors of these things, and you can kind of change the size of them, make them bigger or smaller. And one other good thing here with Noteey and their boards and the canvas is that these are also layered objects. So I can easily come in here into the layers, and I can set this in front of an object that I already have on a board or behind it and so forth. So what I've done here is, because it's really good with the images, is I put a world map in here, and you can see that the world map that I put in here from a scale perspective is a lot bigger on the map. So I have to kind of zoom out in order to see the entire thing, and everything else is really tiny from this perspective. I did this on purpose after some trial and error, where I put a pin. So the icon that I took out there, I put a pin in different locations on the globe in here. And the reason why I zoomed in is because, or I made the map bigger than the actual boxes over here, the items here, is because when I zoom in here, the globe itself, the map, is pretty big. So if I wanted to come in here and I click on Amsterdam, it goes directly to Amsterdam, and I can literally see the pin. So if I had the map shrunk down into a smaller size to match what these are, then it would be really hard to see where that pin is on the map. So this makes it a lot easier because I'm more than likely going to have it to this level to where these are much more visible. And then when I click here on this link, it'll take me to where the actual the pin is that maps to that link. And you can see it kind of highlights it there in a black square. So that's been working pretty nice. So how do I actually get this linking? Another good thing with Noteey is that everything has a link. You can copy a link to it. And this is probably something that many people don't see as a big benefit, but when you want to create something like this here, it really just takes this thing to another level on what you can do by being able to link to every little object that you put on there. Even the little pins that you put on the board here that I have here, you can even have a link for these things. So I can come in here, I can copy the link, and then what I've done in this case is that I would click on the actual box. Let's go ahead and just pull one here and create one here. And from here, I can just go to this link option. I can paste in the link, hit confirm, and as you see on these other ones, I actually did put a label on the inside of these so I knew exactly where this link goes to. But you can see now it puts this little icon here of a globe where I can click on this and it will take me to the place on the map. So this is pretty nice, and I've really started to love the every object gets a link feature that's in Noteey, just because of use cases like this. Now, so with these squares, I did not use cards on these, and the reason why I did not use cards is because you can only put a single card on a board at a time. So if I come in here and I go to my cards, if I put that card on the board, it will not let me put that card on there a second time, the same card. Actually, I'll delete that one and put that one. You can see the message here. The card is already on the board, and it kind of makes sense, right? Why would you want the same card on the board multiple times? But in this particular use case, I do want to have the ability to have the same location on this board at the same time, because I may go to the same location in different years, and this gives me the opportunity to just come in here, I can copy this, I can paste it over here, and everything will work the same. So I can click on here and it will take me over to this location. So these locations, I can easily copy and paste these wherever I need to, and I can have multiple on the board at the same time. And one quick tip, if you're going to put these, working with these icons like I'm doing here on this board, let's go into the icon, let's find one of those pins again, and I am going to, let's choose this one here that's on the board. And if I want to place this anywhere on this board, here I can just drag that over there, and now it's here. Now, one thing with putting it on this globe, I also group this with the actual globe. So if I ever move the globe, then it will actually move with the globe. So if you don't, if I zoom out here, let's make everything small. And if I grab this globe and I move it, you can see that that icon stays where it is there. So in order to fix that, then all you really need to do is just make sure you group this object or every pen with the background object, and that way it will move when you move everything else. So another tip here too is that if you want to put another pen on the board, you can just copy one that's already on the board once, because you may come in here also and you may customize this. So if I change this, and let's say I want to make this a red color here, and if you want that same icon with all the stuff that you may have changed to it, then just copy it. And one tip is that move your mouse to the location where you want the actual icon to land. Like here, I'm going to choose Iceland down here. I'm going to hover over it with the mouse, and then I'm going to paste. I'm going to, well, click on the actual image and then paste it, and then you see it paste exactly where I have the icon. If I come over here to Greenland and I hover over the green, paste, and it's pretty accurate. So you can accurately place this icon when you're doing it, when you're doing a copy paste, just by moving the mouse pointer exactly where you want. I'll go ahead and I'll delete these. Now my other thought is that once I get these all in place and I'm mapping these out for each year, you may want to, let's go to here, let's map to Wisconsin. You may want to know what you actually did here. And what I'm thinking to probably resolve this particular, or solve this particular use case, is what I can do is create a card. So this one here is for Wisconsin. I can easily just come in here and create a card for Wisconsin, or we can say Wisconsin trips to be specific on what we're doing here. And now with this particular card, I can kind of jot down all the trips that I had, put the month, date, and time, or just the month and the day, whatever format you want for that there. Let me see what we have here. I know we can put the time in here. Let's just put today and maybe just format it this way. And then maybe you come in here and went to this place and then did this, and then the next day maybe you're going to do the same thing today, and then if I did this on the next day, obviously it would put the right date in there, and then you map out things, places you went to, maybe how you felt at those places, so on and so forth. So each day, go ahead and map out what you're doing. And the key here is that because everything gets a link to it, you can copy this link. I can come over here, and those are already linked to something. So actually, these are not linked yet. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and link this one. We'll put a link in here, and we will confirm. And now if I say I go to my journal, but yet I want to go to that card, this should allow me to go to that card. Right now this is grouped in such a way it's not letting me. Let's see if it'll let me ungroup. Group. All these things are, there we go. So if we hover over, trying to get this here, it's a little hard to get it, but you can see the icon here. And if I zoom out, actually it gets bigger. It's funny that this little icon, the icon for the link, gets bigger even when the icon itself that has the link gets smaller. But if I click on that link it should open up the card. So it's not working here. There we go. It worked there. Oh, one other thing I did find out with these links is that if you click it in the top right corner, you're more apt to actually get the link to work. If you click it anywhere on the, near the icon here, it doesn't seem to work as well. So it's somewhat hit or miss, but I know if I hit it in this upper side of the icon there, that it works basically every time. And we can kind of see this too if we go to one of these other ones here. If I click it right here, you can see that it just selects this object. But if I click it on the top right there, it goes to actually where it is on the map. So maybe it's something that could be fixed with the within the app on the Noteey app. So if this is being watched by the Noteey team, maybe they can do something here to expand the area, the clickable area for that link itself. All right, and then to maybe even go even further, is this particular log is more of your trips and kind of putting the day and the places that you went to. So like if I went and I put, I went to Raymond James Stadium, just putting something out there, I can actually have a card now for Raymond James Stadium, and then I can even go in further into that card to say exactly what I did and do similar to what I'm doing here with a time log, a date log, maybe even a time log, and be more detailed about when I went to Raymond James, what I did, who went with me, so on and so forth. So it's more specific information to the actual place. Or again, you could just create the Raymond James here and then create sub bullets and put all that information here as well. So the tool Noteey is pretty flexible in how you can do this, and you can slice and dice this in so many different ways that it could get a little bit challenging to decide on which way to do it. But I would say just get in here, start playing around with it, and you'll find a direction that works for you. There may be a little bit of trial and error, but you'll eventually find out which way you want to go. Another thing here too is that now that I have this card, what I can do is I can add images into the cards, and I can start saying, okay, well, I went on this trip on this day, maybe some images that are related to the actual trip. So if I did Raymond James here and I create a new card, I open up this new card, let's put that in the side pane right here. Let's see if it will not open for me for whatever reason. That seems odd. Let me here, see, it will not open in the side pane. So here's another thing maybe for the Noteey team, they can see why for some reason this is not working. We can see the note is actually in the library here, and it's not working here. Let's remove this from the board. If I click on the trips here, actually none of these are working now. Let me close there. Here, reopen Raymond James. Okay, there we go. Not sure why that kind of wigged out there, but now that we have these images here from the different places, let's say I want to map the images that went from Raymond James, I can put these images over into the card. Now, one thing, you cannot drag these images over into the card, I've noticed, which would be nice to do, but you can just right click on there, say copy from clipboard. These images are not in the library as well, so none of these images are saved in the library when you put them on the board by default. But when I come in here and I paste this image into the card, you can see one thing, it flipped the image for some reason. Not sure why that flipped that image. Huh. Let me see if there's a way I can undo that. See, being a visual tool, they've also thought about being able to edit images. Let me see if that will flip itself back. No, it did not. Here. Okay. And it showed it to me here the way I want it, but no dice. So it did not flip over for me. So unfortunately, this happened here. Not sure why. Let me see if another image will actually do that as well. Let's pick this one here. We'll paste that one in there, and it pasted this one upside down too. This is somewhat weird behavior, and let's actually close this. We'll open it up again. Let's go here, and they're all upside down. This is somewhat weird. So you're seeing this in real time with me. I will come in here. Let's delete this. Let's delete that one. Let's go to the library. We'll also come in here, and it does not give us any options to do anything with it here. So I'm going to delete these. It's funny that this is doing this. This is the first time I've actually seen this happen with the images. Okay, so those are gone, and let's just right click. We'll add to library. This is in the library now, and if we go into Raymond James, we got it here. Let's copy. The deal is, well, one thing here, let's copy. It's probably going to copy as a link. Nope, it does embed it. So let's go into the library, and we will see that the adding it to the library puts it in the correct way. So this is more than likely a bug that I have not seen before, but you kind of get the gist. At this point, you've created your location travel card, and in that particular card you put in the different places you visited at that location, and then you can start putting content into that note, or you can leave it on the board itself. One more other thing before we close out here is that with the images, you saw that you can kind of double click on these images, you can flip them around, and you can change them. Now if I do this upside down, it does not actually save what I just did. I'm not sure why. Here, if I do a enter, and no, nope. And I'm curious as to what these are. Oh, okay, these are just flipping. Alright, so neither of those work now, but I should be able to come in here and let's go crop the image. And I use this one a lot, so this one has worked all the time for me, so we shouldn't see any bugs with this one. I can come in here and I can just crop right here into this image, this part of the image that I want. Then I can zoom in, and you can see that now I can really see exactly what was going on in that part of the image. And also notice the grid lines that you get here when you're placing your images on the board. This is really helpful if you want to, say, just have some kind of visual items here on the board, and you want to organize them in a certain way. Then you can really make things more aligned and, you know, have somewhat of a structure to it, and not just have images just scattered around the place. You can also, while you're on here too, if you wanted to organize any of these images in a certain way, you can align these images in different ways too. So if you wanted to have, you know, different objects that are on the board all in the same row, you can just highlight all of them, a line and say, let's put these in one row. You can see that all these got clumped up because they were on two different rows. You can come in here and then you can space them out, where these here got spaced out now. And it's still, actually I think I just need to give it enough space in between there. And boom, okay, it starts to look better there. Alright, so I think you get the gist on this here as well, on kind of what I'm showing. And lastly, what you can do with this here is you can also share this out. So Noteey provides a sharing feature. Depending on which plan you have, you'll be able to share your content out. As long as the current size of the project is under 20 megabytes, you should be good. If we go to publish, we can do create link. It'll create a link out that you can share with other people. You can either copy it. I'm going to go ahead and click view the site, and we can see the site that it created. Let's go ahead and open it up here. You can see that some of the images was not either uploaded, or basically they're not showing themselves right now, so maybe they need to finish uploading. But the image here for the globe is showing. The image for the mind map is showing. You can click on those, it shows them. If you come into the side pane here, you can open this up, and let's maybe expand this up here where I have the different frames. You can click on these frames and it'll go to the different frames. And one thing that's not showing up here is that I have the actual icon here, and I put links on them in the project within Noteey, but the shared page here that's publicly shared does not have that link on it. So it does not give you that functionality like I get on the project within Noteey, where I can click on this and then it takes me to the location in the map. So one thing that they could probably either fix, I'm not sure if that's something that they're going to even look to offer within the feature, but it would be something nice to have the full functionality of what you can do here. Even though it will be just a read-only mode, these links should still kind of be published and work just like you'd expect them to. But this is just another use case. What you will want to do with your images once you have these things in is you should lock these, because another thing that Noteey has here is that you can lock the image. So there's no mistakes that I can do with moving this image around on the board. It'll always stay fixed in the same place. Alright, so hopefully this did a couple different things, showed you what you can do with Noteey, and also give you a different perspective on how you can maybe re-visualize the information you might have, say sitting in a simple mind map like I did here, and then bring it into Noteey and create something a bit more expansive. So that's going to be it for this video. If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and until the next time, have a nice day.